Alright guys, welcome back to the Dark Souls 2 walkthrough, Indiana Jones style. Now, our stats should be looking like this. We have our strength and our dex at 40, our adaptabilities at 26. We haven't invested in vigor or endurance yet, and we do need to do that pretty soon. Endurance is more valuable than health at this point. We're a glass cannon, so health really doesn't matter. It's our endurance that matters. Endurance allows you to do more attacks and dodge more attacks. And the Lost Center coming up, you're going to need some endurance. So, we're at the Lost Bastille here. And the first item on our agenda is getting some Twinkling Titanite from the Pursuer that's going to be coming up. And we're going to get a Fragrant Branch of Yore in this chest. Now, run up to the chest. Do not open it. Just run up to it to spawn the Pursuer. And then run up to him, and you can just wail on him with your fists. On the double-handed R1s are really nice to do. You won't be able to kill him all the way because your endurance isn't good enough yet. But he's very easy to dodge. You should know his moveset by now. And he is not going to last long against our flurry of blows. Now, if he knocks down the door, get your crossbow out and start shooting the dogs that come through the door. They will come through the door. Now, I like to switch to the fire crossbow here. I like to have a little fun with this enemy up top. There's an exploding barrel right next to his ass, and I just like to take off a good bit of his health by surprising him here. And then we'll just finish him off with one bolt. Now, don't forget to open the chest. I've actually done that a few times. In this chest, you'll get the covetous silver ring, regular one, which you don't even need because we have the better version already. A human effigy and a fragrant branch of yore. Now, we didn't have any fragrant branches left, so we needed that to progress. Because you can't get to the ruined sentinels, which is our next boss, unless you have a fragrant branch. So, you have to get it. Now, these jailers coming up here, we're just going to showcase our fists yet again. And I like to do this attack. This is when you do the dual wielding motion here. You can do the left bumper and just wail on him a couple of times. It's a two jabs with your left in succession by just hitting the button once, and you can follow it up, like I said before, with other attacks. Now right here, I like to just shoot these guys. There's no reason going into hand-to-hand combat with them. If you hit with all three bolts, they'll die anyway. I actually missed there. If they do get close, and just get your whip out. Ooh, woof, that was close. Don't fall off the ledge. Now, we can get our crossbow out and try to blow him up. He ran past it. Those are exploding barrels right there. We could have had some more fun with this guy. But we can just snipe him. I'm trying to save my whip's durability right now because I'm going to need it in a minute with the onslaught of enemies coming through the door. And the whip is the best way to take them out. So we're going to go ahead and switch the whip to our right hand. And to get this fragrant branch of yore and open the path forward. And we're going to be opening up a shortcut to the boss. We're not going to go the normal way. As soon as you open this door, you're going to walk over the threshold and turn around. Because you're going to have an army of royal soldiers coming at you. The best option is to use your whip and double-hand it with the R2s. If you get them all in a group, you can get them all pretty much. I got all but one of them there. Now, we're not going to need the whip for the boss. The ruined sentinels coming up are going to melt once we hit them with our fists. They absolutely stand no chance against us. But just in case, we're going to open up the shortcut anyway. Just in case anybody has trouble with the boss, they can always take the shortcut to get back. It's an interesting shortcut because it's a door that leads to nowhere. And you actually have to fall into the opening. And it's doors right there. We'll open it in just a second. Let's go ahead and take this guy out. I'll try to get this. Some of these you can't get with your fists, so we'll just whip him. He's not a threat anyway, but later on they will be. Now this door leads to nowhere, but like I said, you can drop from above. A handy little shortcut. Now, before we go to the boss, Let's make sure we have the stone ring equipped. It's going to give us a little extra poise damage. This boss will not last long. It's going to be a very quick fight. Their health bars are just going to disintegrate in front of our fists. You'll see. This is a great showcase of really just how damaging your fists are in this game now. It's an eye opener here. Just watch and enjoy. For the first one, we're just going to run around him. We're not going to do any rolling. We're going to hit him once, twice, and 3 times as the charm. He's dead. And I make a little bit of a mistake here. You don't run up as soon as he jumps up. And I ran just a little bit too quick. I have been able to kill this boss without taking a hit, but this time I made a mistake here. But just do the same thing. Just run around him. And 1, 2, and a 3. You're gone too. And waiting for the next one. You never even have to leave the platform. If this isn't an indication of how powerful your fists are, then I don't know what is. And that's it. Now, we're not going to use our fists for every boss, but for most of them, it's definitely a viable strategy. But sometimes we'll just need a bit of range or something else. Every boss is different, so... Now, when you get to this hallway here, you can just run through, because if you lollygag around, there's an exploding mummy that will blow up. There he goes. And he'll kill you. It's an insta-kill. Now, light the bonfire and drop down this hole and get ready to fight another pursuer. We need some more Twinkling Titanite anytime we can get it. So we're just going to wail on him before he even spawns. He'll be practically dead. Might get one hit on us, but he's not going to survive the next one. And he's gone. Now this area is the entrance into the belfry, but we're not going into it yet. That's where the damn gargoyles are, but we're not fighting them just yet. We will fight them twice because we want the gold's covetous ring +2, and the only way to get it is to kill them in New Game Plus. So we're going to do that later. Our next objective is to get to the Lost Center and kill her twice. We need to kill her the first time, then we need to bonfire the bonfire at Center's Rise and do it again. Although it's much more difficult the second time around. Now make sure you get this key. This is a very important item. Make sure to get that key. But yeah, it's a much more difficult fight the second time around because you have to deal with the boss and 2 pyromancers that come into the arena. And the boss is extremely aggressive. And loves her poke move, I'll tell you that much. She loves to stab the hell out of you. So, you turn your back on the center, you're dead. You're dead every time. Especially on New Game Plus. And our vigor's only at 10. We're not going to be able to sustain many blows. So the Bright Bug will come in handy here. Although, I do believe I screwed up the Bright Bug. Spoiler warning. I don't think you can buff more than one thing at a time. I tried to use the Bright Bug and the Blossom at the same time. And I think I overwritten the Bright Bug, but it's okay because I killed the boss anyway. Now there's a NPC up here that has to be unpetrified later. It just blows poor sap up. It's fun to just blow them up whenever the opportunity presents itself. Yeah, there's an NPC further up where you have to unpetrify him. He's a boss soul vendor, but we're not going to deal with him just yet. We don't have any fragrant branches to help him anyway, but he's up here in this area. And we'll come to him later, but let's open the door here. Might want to kill the enemies first. I'm not even sure where these guys came from. Now across the bridge you'll be shot at from above by fire crossbow bolts. And you'll have the jailer to deal with here. You could either run past him or kill him, but we're so powerful it's just going to take a few hits. And we're in Center's Rise. It's just one area that contains the boss and not much else. There's one bonfire that you have to use your bonfire aesthetic on after you kill her the first time. The location of the sniper here to the right is so stupid too. Like, he can literally shoot you while you're sitting at the bonfire. He's not there at the moment, but he will be. Make sure you light your torch here. I like to save my flame butterflies just in case. And that's the guy that will eventually, when his original spawn is to the left of you. Now, this area is interesting because there's water, and water and fire don't mix well together, and you need to take the torch all the way to the boss. So as long as you don't roll in the area of water, you won't lose the torch. But if you get hit and you fall into the water back first, you won't lose the torch. Where's the logic in that? I just don't get it. This game, man, I tell you, I don't know who programmed it, but there's some logic things that just don't make no sense. Now, this elevator, once you take it all the way down, make sure you send it back up, because if you're having trouble with the boss, you're not going to want to have to wait on the elevator to come up every single time. Trust me, I've been there. Now, let's talk about the boss arena, because it's very significant. Originally, if you were to go in the room just normally, go through the fog wall as it stands, you will have to fight the center in the dark. There is a way to light up the arena, and that's why we're carrying our torch here. Just run past this flexile sentry and get to the opening here. But yes, there's two areas that you have to light. You have to take your torch to and light it on opposite sides of each other. And this will light up the boss arena. You will want to do this, especially on New Game Plus. When we go into New Game Plus and have to deal with the Pyromancers and the Lost Center, you're going to want to see everything that you can possibly see. So up here, and you have to have the Bastille key. That's why I said to make sure to pick it up, to open this door and light, for the love of God, light these things. And if you don't have a torch handy at the time, just use your flame butterfly, but save that one for New Game Plus, if you can. There's a small and silky stone right here. We can trade with the crows later. Now, I've went through a lot of strategies with this boss, and I found that your fists are not the best way to do it, nor is your whip. It is the puzzling stone sword. Make sure you use the stab move and just concentrate more on your endurance and your dodging more than your attacking. Attack her once, it's a win. Don't go for more than one hit. It's just not worth it, and she's got terrible hitboxes on her sword where you will take hits when you shouldn't. It's really annoying. And you'll see it. I'll point them out when it does happen. The first run of this boss is not that bad. You basically just roll to her right every single time and try to turn around and stab her. And just don't get hit. I mean, it's easy to say that, don't get hit, but you can take a few hits in this one. But when you go to New Game Plus, you don't get many options. You don't get many chances. And see, the stab didn't take off that much, but try doubling or tripling that amount on New Game Plus, and you'll get an idea of how perfect you need to be to kill this boss. And then you got the Pyromancers you got to deal with as well. But I've come up with a pretty good strategy for that as well. But see, there's the hitbox. I can't stand that one. Like, I don't understand what hit me. I've actually paused it, looked at the video, and I wasn't even near the blade when I took damage. It's absolute bullshit, I tell you. Now, when she does her, it's hard to get hit by her jump attack. As long as you're moving, you'll never get hit by that stupid thing. Just like I say, you see right there, you're not going to get hit. And she's dead. Just keep using the puzzling stone sword and poke her. And we're going to use the stone sword again on New Game Plus. I've tried it other ways. I've tried it every other weapon that I've had, and this is the best. I've had the best success with this weapon, so we're going to use it again. Make sure you get the fragrant branch of yore here. Now, you will need the whip in the second meeting to kill the Pyromancers. That's the key. You have to use the dash attack. The dash attack with the whip will take out the Pyromancers pretty reliably. Now, we're going to pop all of our souls here, and we're going to go level up at the Emerald Herald. We're going to concentrate on endurance, because endurance is king right now. Even adaptability pales in comparison to endurance right now, because without the ability to attack and dodge multiple times in succession, you're not going to last long against the center on New Game Plus. You need endurance. I've practiced this boss many times, and I have found that endurance is the most important stat for this fight. And don't get me wrong, adaptability is still the most important stat in Dark Souls overall, but for us right now, at this time, we need endurance, and we need it more than we need adaptability. We need to attack and dodge, and we need to be able to do a lot of it to survive. So we're going to concentrate all on endurance here. 9 levels of endurance right there. So we're at 19 endurance. That should help us get through this next fight. And since we got some Twinkling Titanite, let's strengthen our boss killing weapon. 2+3. And I must say that the Puzzling Stone Sword is actually a very good weapon in the game. It gets rid of a lot of enemies at once if you're surrounded. If you need something for crowd control, it's a very good option. Now, it's time. I hate this fight, guys. I hate it. I hate this fight. I struggled with this so much, and I finally found a good strategy, but it took a while. Because my vigor is so low, it's only 10, and you can't take many hits on New Game Plus when your vigor is so low. So this is definitely a glass cannon, so we have to be perfect, and there really is no two ways about it. We're going to need all the help we can get. So we're going to use buffs. We're going to use the Green Blossom to increase our endurance even more. And I tried to use the Bright Bug, but I think I screwed it up like I said earlier. You'll see the enemies are taking more hits now. We're in New Game Plus, so they're not going to go down in one hit. They're still going to go down fast, though. Now, I like to clear this area. I want to have as much health and as much Estus before going into the fight. Let's just backstab this guy and take our time and kill all these enemies. And don't miss your ride. Almost made a big mistake there. Oh boy, I hate this fight, guys. I really do. The boss is so aggressive. Once you get her to half health and those pyromancers come in, you have to divide your attention between the pyromancers and make sure you send that elevator up. The pyromancers and the boss at the same time. Now make sure on the before this guy wasn't here. On New Game Plus, you'll have different changes, so make sure you punch him out. But yeah, you're gonna have to divide your attention between the center and the pyromancers. Now I'll tell you this right now: do not take your eyes off the center. Whatever you do, do not take your eyes off of her, because if you do, she's gonna stab you every single freaking time. She will go into a frenzy with that stab move. That's all she wants to do, because she knows you're going after the pyromancers. She's gonna go right after you with the stab, and that stab has great range and damage. You will not take many hits and survive. Look at that. That's one hit there from this guy, and he nearly killed me. You can't take but maybe 2 or 3 hits in this New Game Plus with our vigor the way it is. But like I said, the main thing is to not take your eyes off the center. Wait for her to attack. Run past her with your whip. Double hand your whip and do the charge attack. It's got amazing range, the whip does, with that charge attack. And it will take out the pyromancers pretty quickly. It usually takes 2 hits, but it's the best way I have found with this build anyway to take out these guys. Now we didn't light our torch earlier, so we have to use our flame butterfly here and light up the arena. No way in hell we're going to try it in the dark, especially with the pyromancers as well. So yeah. The key to this fight is do not get greedy. Use the stone sword, dodge her, attack once, and just dodging is more important than attacking. Always have the endurance to dodge. If you don't have enough endurance to dodge after an attack, you're gonna die. So we're going to pop some green blossom here, and I shouldn't have done it though. I used the bright bug, but I think I overwrote the buff here. I'm not exactly sure if I did or not, but I probably did. Now, as before, we're just going to roll past her right side. Everything is straightforward. She just does a lot more damage, and she takes more hits. And you're going to have to deal with the pyromancers, which is the hardest part of this fight. Notice I'm only attacking once. I'm not trying to get more than once. You got to be very serious about this boss. because you can't take many hits. And I got the I'm not sure if the bright bug is taking effect or not, but okay, there are the pyromancers. Don't take your eyes off the center. Watch her at all times, know where she's at. If you think you can see, look at that, I nearly died because of my greedy. You have to make sure she's already attacked before you heal or you go for one of the pyromancers. If you try to attack the pyromancers and you don't know that she has just attacked, you're screwed up and you're dead. There's no two ways about it. You have to be very careful here. Locate the center, wait till she attacks and go for the pyromancer, and then get ready to dodge immediately, because she's always going to be on your ass. Always. She is one of the most aggressive bosses ever, and she does not give up. She will continuously try to stab you over and over again. And as you least expect it, you'll be dead. Try to keep your health topped off as much as possible, because one bad hitbox and it's all over. And you'll have to do it all over again. So you'll see an evidence of it right here, coming up pretty soon, where I get a bad hitbox and I nearly die because of it. It's really bullshit. Like, I'm already near the end of the fight, and one bad hitbox, it's not even my fault. Clearly dodge her, and I'm almost dead. Like, it's really unfair. That's why a lot of people have problems with this game, because it does have some really big problems, and hitboxes are among the worst of the problems. I got a little greedy there. I took for 2 stabs, but I'm so close to killing her I got a little excited. But coming up, and there it is. Look at the damage on that. And I dodged it, but the hitbox said no, and I nearly died because of it. But she's dead, and good riddance. This is what I go through to get the Chaos Blade. It's my favorite weapon, but was it worth all this pain? Maybe, maybe not, but it's over, and I'm happy. You'll get a buttload of souls from killing her on New Game Plus as well, and you can pop her soul, which will give you even more souls, so you'll be able to level up again quite substantially. Important to note, do not pop this soul. This is the old witch soul. That's the one you need for the Chaos Blade. You can pop the center soul, but don't you dare pop that soul. You pop that soul and oh my god. You have to do it all again. You would have to go into another New Game Plus cycle unless you had a backup save if you really wanted the Chaos Blade now. So make sure you don't pop that soul, whatever you do. In fact, it may be safe to just not pop any of them just until you get the Chaos Blade to make sure you don't screw up. But the old witch soul is the one you need for the Chaos Blade. Now we're going to level up endurance all the way we can, which is 27 now. We're getting up better and better there. Now, our next location that we have to visit is Brightstone Seldora. I talked about this area earlier. And this is where our boss vendor is located. Now, we have to kill a boss along the way, but don't worry. This boss is so easy. It's one of the easiest bosses you'll ever see. In fact, I don't even consider this a boss. I think it's just a room full of enemies. It's really a joke. It's really laughable. There's not even a soul for this boss. You get a Titanite slab as your reward for killing this room of enemies. Yeah, it's not a boss. It's laughable. It's a meme. It's an embarrassment, really, for the game. Some people have called it an embarrassment to the game. It's really quite funny. It's a joke. Anybody can beat this boss. Now, as always, as good practice, always make sure you get as many bolts as possible as your garbage souls. After you've leveled up, you'll still have souls left over. So I recommend to get bolts or life gems, whichever one you prefer, but I like ammo. So we're going to stock up on that because we're going to be using Avalon in the next area quite a bit. The next area is chock full of spiders and these peasant enemies that take a lot of hits for some reason. But before that, we have to go through the doors of Pharros, and this is where we were when we killed the NPC 50 times to get the Vanquisher seal. Now, these guys will drop Titanite chunks, as I mentioned before, but it's not a very good drop rate unless you have a lot of item discovery. It still takes a while, but it's still better than I think than going to the Black Gulch and farming the tar creatures. This guy coming up is quite hilarious. He only has 2 axes, and he throws his only weapons, and then he just stands there with no way to kill you. So, but he's not going to last long with a whip anyway. But now, right here, be very careful. You want to get this crystal lizard, but he's very hard to get. So stand right here and just hit him with the whip before your feet touch the water, and you should get him. You'll get a raw stone out of it, but we've already upgraded Avalon with raw. We will use another raw stone when we get the Executioner's Chariot crossbow, which we're not really going to use, but I'm just doing it as part of the build because any crossbow or whip I want to have in my inventory. This is Cell Door. Now, this is a campsite here in the front. You don't have to engage any of these enemies. In fact, I never do really worry about it. Now, you can farm these enemies for some items and stuff. Like, there's another variation of an indie hat, which I will show you later. And he's off there. He's farming off there to the left. We can kill him over and over. He's quick to the bonfire. We can farm him for the peasant hat. The peasant hat is the closest thing you're going to get to an Indiana Jones hat besides what we already have. Now, these boulders here, just shoot it. Shoot the braces and let the boulders do the work for you. They'll kill the peasant enemies from below, and you don't have to worry about their attacks now. However, they have a buddy from up top that will get mad and will come down. So just take these guys out. They have a lot of health for some reason. I don't know why. I am using the puzzling stone sword here, but even if I had the whip, it would still take more than one hit, I think. Which is kind of odd, because my whip is +5. Now, watch out. This guy is going to come from behind. And there he comes. He's always trying to sneak up on you. Yep, see, one whip shot didn't even kill him. Well, I did only one-hand it. Now, get your Avalon back out, and we're just going to snipe a few more peasants on our way to the spiders. And the crossbows in this game are so much fun to use as a comparison to the first game. I see why people don't like Dark Souls 2, but it's the funnest Dark Souls game I've played so far. And it's best for the indie build, so I'm a little biased. They consider it the dark horse of the franchise, but it's fun. It is a fun game. It's got problems, but what game doesn't? Now, if the spiders on the door are not any indication of what you're about to face, then I don't know what is. There's a trap up ahead that will unleash a room full of spiders, but you don't have to deal with them as long as you don't touch the chest. And I'll show you where the chest is and what not to do. Right here in this room here, there's a chest. Do not open it. Do not touch it. Because if you do, a orb comes out and attracts all these spiders in the room. And they're everywhere. And they're every nook and cranny just waiting to pounce. And they will be placid as long as you don't touch the chest. So just don't touch the chest and you're home free. And open this door, and ahead of you is a secret passage. You gotta hit the wall with A here. It's some kind of a priest set. In the original game, it was an Estus shard, but in this Scholar of the First Sin edition, it's a priest set, I believe. I don't trust that spider, so I'm gonna kill him. But there's another spider that will, as soon as you come out of this area, will try to pounce you. So we're gonna kill that spider and get ready to kill another spider. Because he didn't take kindly to you killing his friend, I guess. He will pounce on you right here. Just whip him. And get ready for a room full of enemies. So I like to just run in one-handed with the whip. And use my charge attack. And take out some of the grunts. Whip the first guy here. Whip the second guy. And yeah, it's kind of over, guys. Need just one more whip. Didn't take so much as a scratch. It took about 25 seconds to kill this boss. I mean, room full of enemies. And you get a Titanite slab for your troubles. Now, as soon as you exit the area, go left and up the ladder. You will meet an old friend from the first game, Oswald, the Pardoner. The guy that you would come to for sin forgiveness. But, he's not going to be important to us in this walkthrough because we're not using any kind of faith or hexes, so it really does us no good. But this bonfire aesthetic is very nice. We'll make sure to pick that up. Now, the next objective is to open another bonfire. Well, we're going to get to the first bonfire here. It's through this area right here to the left. Make sure you hit this bonfire, and then we're going to get to the secret bonfire. Now, this secret bonfire is quite important because it gives you close proximity to your blacksmith. And you're going to want close proximity because you're going to be attacked. You're going to be invaded by every damn thing you've ever imagined. You're going to have spiders. You're going to have sorcerers. You're going to have these spider things. You're going to have poison or petrified frogs. And you're going to have an invader all at the same time. So I hope you're ready for a fight every time you want to go to the blacksmith. So getting a bonfire close to the blacksmith, very important. In fact, I'm prioritizing it over everything else right now. So these spiders are easy to take out and just backstab this guy or hit him with the whip. Now, very important here, we're going to take out some sorcery guys. Screw these guys because they'll make your life miserable if you try to go to the blacksmith and don't kill these guys. They're going to be shooting at you from every direction, and you just don't want to deal with that because you're going to have an invader as well as spiders as well as other things. It's a cluster down there, and they don't want you getting to the blacksmith, and they're going to try everything in their power to make sure you don't get to the blacksmith. We want to get to the blacksmith to get our Chaos Blade, so we're going to make sure that we kill everything in sight. I tried to kill the spider here, but it didn't work. You're still going to have to deal with 1,000 spiders anyway, so it doesn't matter. I was just trying to thin out the ranks a little bit. But here's the secret bonfire. You want to come off right here. Right here, gingerly step off. I don't trust any spiders. I want to kill every spider on the damn screen. They will cause pretty good damage, these spiders, so don't take them lightly. In groups, they're a pain in the ass. You'll want to use whips to take them out. Now, let's get rid of these assholes. There's 2 of them here. Stab and spin. Nice little combo with the puzzling stone sword there. Now, go ahead and get your alluring skulls out because it's going to make your life so much better when you come down this ladder. As soon as you get down the ladder, throw the skull away from the bonfire immediately. As soon as you see the bonfire, throw it away from the bonfire. Throw it away and get to the bonfire and hit it. Don't sit at it, but you won't be able to sit at it, and then just go ahead and while they're distracted, just try to whip them as much as possible. I'm dual wielding my whips right now because I'm trying to get as many of them as possible. And there are so many of them that will just crowd you and kill you pretty quickly. But this bonfire, very important. Don't sit at it right now. Because if you sit at it, guess what? The spiders are coming right back. So, no. Just pop it to make sure you have it as a location. Now, I like to get the puzzling stone sword here because I want to have my whip's durability ready for the invader. The old whip doesn't have much durability, so I want to make sure I'm using it on the invader. As soon as you get this petrified dragon bones, which you will need because you're going to be 14, you're going to have 1 short. That'll be your 15th right there. Make sure you kill all these spiders that come out of the hole here. It's basically an ambush, but as long as you're waiting for them, you have the upper hand. Now it's time to get invaded. We've cleared the area of all the buttholes, but now, as soon as you try to get to the blacksmith, this guy pops out of the ground. He'll petrify you. And then, as soon as you, again, try to get to the blacksmith, oh, guess what? We don't want you going to the blacksmith, so we're going to invade you as well. But we're going to get the old whip out and stun lock him as much as we can. At this point, he's just a cakewalk because like I said, he doesn't have a melee attack. He's just going to cower here in the corner. He knows he's done for. And that's it. And at last, we can get to our precious blacksmith and get our Chaos Blade. You can see why I wanted to get this bonfire right next door to the blacksmith. It's quite important in my opinion. There's a flame butterfly right here. A couple of them. Now, she will give you the first boss weapon for free because you saved her. So, we're only getting 1 right now, so it's the Chaos Blade. We'll come back to her later if we need to get some items. Like, she sells infinite flame butterflies, which is going to be very helpful in the Shrine of Amana. So we'll definitely be coming back to her. It's not just a one-time visit with her. She's a nice vendor. She'll also sell unlimited green blossoms later, too. Very handy. But we're going to get the Chlorantha Ring plus 2 pretty soon. Not in this episode, but pretty soon. Now that we have the Chaos Blade, we are going to upgrade it to plus 5 immediately. And we have exactly 15 petrified bones is what we needed. Now we're ready to really do some damage. Our arsenal grows stronger still. In the next episode, guys, we're going to complete Pate and Crichton's storyline to get the engraved gauntlets. See you guys then.